Hey, what's up guys? It's Lego Hobo 910 here with another Lego video. And in this video, I'm reviewing the ATST Raider from the Star Wars Mandalorian show. And no, I have not seen it yet, so please do not post any spoilers or anything in the comments. I'm getting Disney Plus on Christmas and plan on binge watching everything that came out by then. So just please be courteous and don't spoil it for me and others. So now let's get on with the review. Now, of course, this build is very consciously and clearly, as well as being logically and canonically similar to their most recent regular Imperial ATST from the Rogue One line, I believe from 2016. Just looking at it, you can see it's built very similar. The face is really similar. There's just the slightest difference there. The gun is built the slightest bit different there on the tips, but it's the same basic build there. The top is very similar. The legs are built in a similar fashion. This one has a bit different detail around the sides, as well as different bracing there. Then, even the same two weapon systems there with a pretty much identical build for the gun, just different framing around it, and same with the rocket launcher, very similar. The feet, very similar. Everything almost identical. But I'm fine with that, and it makes sense. The backs here, just looking at that, it's pretty much identical. The only real difference being color scheme and the occasional little bit here and there. But I'm fine with that, and it makes sense as, this is meant to be a worn-down, repurposed ATST, and it even makes sense that some of the things like the weapons and stuff are just slightly different because, over the years it's been repaired to be used again. It's, been replaced with parts that they have lying around which may not be part of the original thing, so it makes sense to be slightly different. So let's start down at the legs here. There's one red leg and one brown leg, which I think gives an interesting look. My one slight problem with this set is the reliance on stickers for detail. There's 3 along each foot, as well as along the leg, 2 there, and then 1 on either side. They do add a lot of detail and look nice, but there's just a lot of them, and it got kind of annoying applying them. But I think the legs overall do look nice. It, of course, has the same problem with all ATSTs of only being able to bend right there, which is a very hard joint to have it stand on. I might... it's really hard to get it. It would be easier if they could come forward or if they could move there. But it's... there we go. And then it's just very wobbly, kind of tipping over as it walks. It's one of the main problems with the ATSTs, and I'm not sure how they're going to fix in the future if they even are. I do really like the kind of ligaments back here, once again, almost directly from the original 2016 ATS, or not the original, but the most recent one. Something I really like, however, on the red leg here, is the use of these whip pieces to create all these wires stringing around the leg, kind of loose, and coming undone as if they weren't quite finished repairing it when they had to bring it into battle for an emergency attack or something. Then, of course, has this knob on the back, which can turn the head. Once again, the same as on the 2016 one. I do really like those vent stickers there. And then if we move up a bit, it brings me to one of my favorite little bits of detail here. All that little greebling and piping there, using some of these paint roller pieces, as well as then a few other random pieces there. It just looks really cool. And then there's also a few more little stickers around the side here. This area on the 2016 ATST was fairly blank and also wasn't quite as long, so there's a lot more space there for detail. There's a few stickers there which are kind of hard to see and you generally won't see for the most part, as well as then the slightest bit more detail beneath the head there. Now let's move up onto the head. There are, of course, the 3 weapon systems, the cannons on the front, on the side, and then the grenade launcher. And these can actually shoot using these spring-loaded shooters, which have a remote activation system here. You just push that in. It's the same system as, you guessed it, the 2016 ATST. It also, here's the bolt I just fired off, but it also comes with another extra one, so you don't run out of bolts. I really like the sticker on the front there, and also all the kind of greebling and patterns along the side. There's a few small stickers along the side, which I like this one a lot as well, with the bullet holes, same with over here. And then there's a lot of Technic around the back, but that's just because of the way it's constructed, and I actually don't think it looks too bad, especially in the context of this old, worn-out one. And then there's the hatch on the top, with the small kind of opening hatch here, which can actually open in, which the minifigures would use. There's also handles they can grab on. And then there's the hatch for us humans to get in, which just opens like that. There's a seat for one minifigure there, as well as a little console, and then an extra blaster in the back. I'm not a fan of all the yellow and green on the cockpit here. I wish they could have made that more color appropriate so it didn't look so weird. There's only room for one. There isn't much space in the cockpit, and a lot of it's taken up by the build in order to keep the side panels on as well as at that angle. And I already mentioned slightly, but there are these handles here so you can kind of have the minifigure grip on it and be coming out at the top of the ATST, which is definitely an interesting and cool look. Overall, I think this is a really cool build, and especially for someone like me who's really kind of nerdy about the more Imperial-looking vehicles and likes these type of things, this is a great build. I got this a while back and just haven't gotten around to reviewing it. Here's it once again next to the 2016 one. Very, very similar in build, and I think it looks great. So now, let's go on to the minifigures. So we will start with the Mandalorian, and then this new character named Cara Dune, who appears to be an ally to him. It's based on, box art and stuff, and also from the little bit of the show I know about. I've been trying to avoid any sort of spoilers, but, you get a little bit here and there. I don't know anything about her character other than allies with the Mandalorian. I also don't know anything about the Mandalorian. Like I said, I haven't seen the show. We'll start with the Mandalorian, though. I think he's a really cool minifigure. Getting this Mandalorian helmet in the gunmetal gray color looks excellent. I think his blaster build is cool. The clip on the end looks slightly weird. I know it's accurate to his gun design. I'm not a massive fan of his gun design, though, either. And also, I don't feel like the clip fits it very well. And, yeah, I'm not exactly sure, because once again, I haven't seen this show, so I'm not sure how accurate that looks. I've just seen bits and pieces. I do like this new little small gray cape that he has there for kind of the cloak or whatnot. Then he has the cool Mandalorian armor, the Beskar. It's very kind of rusted out here and dirty and gross, like, he's been traveling bounty hunting for a while. Definitely a really cool look. He also has some bandoliers and straps there. If I flip up the cape here, see the back printing, which has another plate, as well as then the straps and stuff. I like all the light silver there for kind of the scuffs and scrapes on his armor. It's very reflective and looks cool. Then if we take off the helmet, underneath is just a plain, mysterious black head. Intriguing, not revealing his identity at all. And here's Cara Dune, and she just has a lightsaber handle to extend the barrel of the blaster. She's a pretty regular hairpiece, and I'm just going to pull that off there. So you can see her face print, and her alternate face as well. And while we're back here, you can see the back printing a bit better. She has this kind of cool, simple little silver overlay there that's kind of hard to see unless the light shines on it. Something that they've been doing for the past couple years that I really like, where they kind of print a certain color on the same color, and so you can't see until the light hits it, and it creates kind of a cool effect. And of course, that similar effect is on the front. Little bits of silver through there. I also like all the kind of light blue on her leg piece there, for kind of a strap belt type thing, as well as then the darker brown belt. Now let's move on to the two other figures. Now we have two Klatooinian Raiders, and they each have their own unique built-up guns here. Him using that, and then he's just using these smaller gun pieces. And I like that they're building up the guns in these sets. It adds a bit of unique bit to it. So these guys are almost identical. They have the same leg piece and same face print. Their torsos are slightly different designs, though. At a glance, you would think they're the same, but they're very different. And then, of course, the weapons are different, as well as the little gunmetal gray armor. He has kind of this aviator cap in gunmetal gray, which I think looks cool, as well as this pauldron, which was introduced in the Lego Movie 2. And I like his back printing a lot. If I pull off the helmet, you can see his face slightly better. I think it's a cool looking face for a kind of unique alien species. And then he uses the lower jaw part of the Ultron helmet from, of course, Avengers Age of Ultron, which is a definitely cool armor look, kind of like a shoulder, neck type armor, which I think looks cool. I also like the fact that he has the silver arms. There's really not much to say about these two. I think they're cool figures, and I like that they didn't just put two of the same, that they varied it up, gave them different armors, different weapons, and different torsos, and I think they definitely turned out pretty cool. Overall, I think this is a really cool set, and I bought it almost instantly once this new wave came out, because I'm just love the design of it and the fact that, it calls back to one of my favorite sets that I own here, the Imperial ATST. And then the four minifigures as well are great. The Mandalorian, of course, being the highlight. Cara Dune, who I think may be the weakest, but that might just be because I don't know her character yet. And I really like the design of these two. I think they're pretty cool, as well as the fact that they're unique. I think this may be my favorite of the two Klatooinian warriors, though. And overall, the set's a beautiful design, and it's a unique take on the ATST, and it has lots of little details that I really appreciate. I'd highly recommend this set, but that's all for me for now, and bye.